Shalom, Chevra. Have you ever felt like a robot? Like your mind has taken over your body? You could be having a perfectly calm, normal day, and then all of a sudden, wham! You're yelling and you're screaming at your wife and kids, or you're driving like a maniac on the freeway, or you realize that you're following some cute young chick around the grocery store, watching her every move and turn. After a few minutes of this seemingly out-of-control behaviors, you look back and you wonder, how in the world did I ever start behaving like this? What is my mind, or has it taken over and I'm completely powerless over my behaviors? Well, there's hope. Welcome everyone, this is David Chaim. We are continuing our Motivational Monday series on the art and science of change. Today we will be learning how the mind works and how does it impact my behaviors. The reason I am dedicating time to learn and to share with the Chevra lessons by the world-leading motivational teachers like Brendan Burchard, Byron Katie, Fabian Fredrickson, and others is that after 8 years and working with close to 1,000 men dealing with addictions, I've noticed that some of them really excel in the program and enjoy the promises of recovery. But, regrettably, I see that the majority of us might make some decent progress and have some sobriety, but before long we seem to fall back into our old ways of thinking and behaving and then eventually acting out again. I began to realize that no matter how hard I try to teach the guys the tools and the how-to of recovery, that real long-term success only comes to those who are motivated in the beginning and stay motivated to work the program as if it is as important and joyful as freedom itself. Plus, the biggest bonus about learning these techniques is that it benefits us in all areas of our life, not just in recovery, but also as a husband, a father, a provider, in social circles, and so much more. So please allow me to share with you the best techniques and research available today in the art and science of motivation. If I can save just one of you, one more hour of agony and frustration that comes from the fall that I didn't want, then I will consider all this effort worthwhile. In our last session, we learned how to use our mind to overcome fear and anxiety. We learned about, number one, the fear of pain and loss, that obsessive, overwhelming fear about what I'm going to lose, and how I can find freedom by switching my focus to the potential for gain and growth. Number two, we learned about the fear and pain of getting overwhelmed by the process. Here I say the following negative thoughts to myself like, I can't imagine a life without my drug of choice. My solution comes by viewing life as full of challenges and opportunities. And finally, the third fear I learned about was the pain about outcome, where I'm always predicting and forecasting the worst for me. My recovery comes from visualizing positive outcomes. Today we will be talking about how the mind works and how does it impact my behaviors. Of course, we could spend hours talking about the inner workings of the mind and how the neurons fire and the effects of hormones, etc. But in today's Motivational Monday, we are going to be focusing on the practical workings of the mind and how that makes me feel and why I react or behave the way I do. I'm going to keep it real simple and share with you the 4 I's of how the mind works. That's 4 words that all begin with the letter I, so let's get started. The first I is for information. This is based on the situation you're in, the circumstances, what you're seeing, hearing, taking in with your 5 senses. Your mind is taking in this information. It's consuming what's around you. For example, do you notice that if you're around negative people, it makes you negative? So be very cautious about the environment you're in. The second I is for interpretation. Now that the information has arrived, our mind goes to work to determine how do I interpret this information. It's based on how our mind has been conditioned. our memories, and our focus. There's so much impacting how we interpret the information. Think about how 7 people can be on the street and see an accident. Everyone is interpreting it differently. Think about the last fight you were in with your wife. She may be complaining to you that she doesn't feel respected. And you're confused and you argue back, saying, I didn't disrespect you. But of course, you're not in control of how her mind works or even how your mind works that created this situation. The third I is for intention. Now that we've processed the information that comes into our mind and I've shaped it with my interpretation, I move to the next phase of operation. Here's where I get in touch with the intentions, who I want to be, how do I want to interact with other people, and how do I want to make an impact on those closest to me and the world at large. These result in my intentions. This is a very powerful tool and can even override the prior workings of the mind. For example, think about people on the street that see a building on fire. That's the information. My interpretation is that this is a dangerous situation, and fear turns on, and my intention is to run away as fast as I can. But if I can tap into a side of myself that says, I want to be of service, then I run into the building to save lives. We need to learn that our intention can supersede and override my initial reaction to the world around me. As an addict, here's where you can make a huge impact, because as an addict, we are keenly aware of how our mind takes in the images that we interpret as erotic and provocative, and we give in to our intention to get pleasure. But now that we are aware of the workings of the mind, we can use our intention to be sober and in recovery, and now make choices we call the new design for living. The fourth and final I is for initiative. Now that we've learned all this, what are we going to do? If we've conditioned our mind over life to say, I'm a coward, and I'm weak, and I can't possibly be a man who can be sober or trusted. So we can use our initiative to build the momentum to shape who we are and how we react and how we react. We can use our mind to shape what we want to do to become stronger, more confident, and hopeful. Our initiatives can not only shape us, but also shape others around us and who they think and what they think about us. Our initiative is what helps us place ourselves in situations and around people who are positive and upbeat, who share our common goals to be more than we've been in the past, and to ultimately be a high performer with a new design for living and who actually experience the promises we all dream of on pages 83 and 84 in the Big Book. So I hope, Chevra, that this information has been useful to you and that you'll put it into practice. And I promise you that by utilizing the power of the workings of the mind, that you too will join the ranks of the high-performance individuals who are now realizing their dreams and aspirations to finally live a life of sobriety, recovery, joy, and meaningful relationships, and who can openly declare, Zeh hayom asa Hashem, nagila v'nismach ba. Thanks everyone for joining me today on this Motivational Monday, and remember, it works if you work it, and you're worth it.